we need to create the biggest real estate burn book of all time that actually names people and describes everything horrible that they have done in the industry.
It's right here.
You got it right there. That's what that is.
This is just Long Island. Welcome back to The Walkthrough, where we walk you through this week's trending topics in real estate. I am your co-host, moderator, and captain of band, Dan Oneil, and I am pumped for today's episode and panel. Joining me as always, the always handsome marketing genius, Mr. Eric Simon, aka the Broke Agent. Eric, how are you today? And when do you think you're ever going to get your mic, audio, video figured out?
I don't know. We just keep switching Riverside, StreamYard. It's all over the place. But that is what happens when you run a media company. So
yes,
one day I'll have a good setup.
You look fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Also, returning today, returning guest, co-host of the House of Agents podcast, new BAM creator. Congratulations, Miss Tessabella. Congratulations. And Tessa, how you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you guys for having us on. I'm super excited.
Yes, and for the first time ever, also congratulations, new BAM creator, the other co-founder of the House of Agents podcast, Mr. Ramon Casaus. Bam, what a name.
Nailed it.
Welcome. And for those watching that maybe haven't met you yet or don't know a whole lot about you, can you give us just a brief insight as to who you are and what you do?
Sure. Well, my name is Ramon. I am an American, and I sell real estate.
That's perfect.
We're done. That's incredible. I love it. What a name, too.
The real estate journey goes from, throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. 5-6 years ago, maybe show one house per month if I was lucky. That'd be like a good month for me, just showing a house, and everything in between now to selling a couple houses a day across multiple states. So all the different things that you could possibly happen for you, everything in between. In the last 5 years, we've about done it.
Let's go. Love it. Again, what an incredible name, and we are very happy to have you. And congratulations to the both.
It is an incredible name. You look like Ramon. Like you look like your name,
Ramon.
Yeah.
Ramon Casaus. Ramon. All right. Today we are talking how to get out of a content rut. Apple Vision Pro. Is it the future of real estate? I feel like we always say that. How to create the best just closed videos and much, much more. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe button and wish a warm welcome and congratulations to Tessa and Ramon. Thank you very much. All right, on to topic number 1, the return of virtual showings, how Apple Vision Pro will revolutionize the industry. This is posted on the BAM site and will be linked in the show notes. But to summarize, Apple has announced its first new consumer product since the Apple Watch in 2015, titled Apple Vision Pro. The 3500 spatial computing headset will be available early next year in the US and will transport users to an augmented reality that blends the real and digital worlds together. Apple Vision Pro is an immersive environment that seamlessly blends the digital content with your physical space. We just use this with our 3D printed home that we sold. I'm going to pass it to you guys first. Ramon, how can you see the Apple Vision Pro here maybe benefiting the industry, and would you use it? Like, would you give it to buyers?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a variety of different ways that it can be used. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily want to fork out the $3,500 for it today and give it to a buyer, let them use it. But I think that, I kind of go back and forth, to be honest, on virtual reality, especially in real estate, because I think we all know, like, sure, is there a world in the future where homes are purchased like literally without going to the home? But as we all know, traditionally, the sale is made in person. And so a lot of times, especially if you're lead generating or trying to get someone over the finish line, like, you almost got to get them to the house. So if you can see everything, feel everything, understand everything, that's either going to make that decision then, or you still got to get to the property. So I just kind of an interesting take on converting buyers. Like, is it really going to help them make better decisions, or are you just going to end up getting to the house and doing the deal like you would in the first place? I'm kind of on the standard buyer side of the business. I kind of at a crossroad with that.
Yeah. Tessa, I mean, would you be using this? Do you think, like, on the interior design side of this, could this be a benefit in the future? Like this thing is like a fully immersive, right? Like it's not like you're really like you look to your right and it's like, oh, there's my couch, right? Like you could genuinely pick out and design everything.
Yeah,
Would you ever?
I think like first and foremost, the price point of it is going to serve as like another pre-qualification for buyers. We know who we're working with if they own their own $3,500 goggles. But outside of that, I do think my opinion on kind of all like AI stuff and the really like technologically advanced tools, I think they'll all serve a purpose and find a kind of home for themselves, no pun intended, in the industry as like a supplementary tool, more so than any sort of replacement for something. So, I mean, like you mentioned with the interior design, it's awesome if people can kind of start to picture what it could look like, but it's also like Instagram versus reality. So are we going to just be, catfishing people with a nice looking interior and then they get in the house and it still looks horrible? I think we've got to find kind of that middle ground.
Yeah. Eric, before you got into kind of reading more in the article, what I've experienced with it, and I'm the most technologically in advanced 29-year-old you've ever met in your entire life. I can't even get on StreamYard here, whatever this is, Riverside, but I've used it once with this 3D printed home. And why I thought that it actually might have been, it could be helpful, right? Is these buyers were able to put the goggles on, this riffraff moon goggle, and it's literally like you look to your right and like you're like actually in the space. It's kind of crazy. So it helped us with the design aspect. So these people got to design every inch of the home, the furniture, everything. Like it was really there. Like I don't know how to explain it. And what I've also been noticing too is I have a lot of new construction and a bunch of subdivisions, and everybody keeps asking us, "Hey, do you guys have a model home?" No, we don't. Like it's sold, right? So now we can throw on these goggles or whatever, riffraff moon goggles here, and they can genuinely tour the house as if it were their own, and they can design every inch of the house, the architecture, everything. So I do think that could be, do I want to be shelling out $3,500 for every buyer? Absolutely not. But if it's a big project, or if it's, maybe you just buy it once and you can utilize it for many different listings or many homes, like that's where I see kind of the benefit in it. Because it really is truly like you're looking at your hand, it's like, it's crazy. Eric, what do you think? Are you in Best Buy every day, just putting these things on your head?
I think you'll know what I'll use these for. But what I would do is use them for visualization for staging purposes. So Ann and I were looking at houses in San Diego, and the entire house was barren because they were in escrow, so the seller already moved out all the furniture. And one of the master bedroom was really small, so we were asking, can a king bed even fit in here? And the agent, which was awesome, had all the photos of the staging on his phone and was just showing it. But it would be way cooler to stick on a pair of these moon goggles and walk around the actual house and see like, oh, this is where they had the TV. This is where they had this. And then maybe there's an option on the goggles where you could switch up the furniture, switch up the coloring of the walls, and actually really visualize what the property would look like kind of before and after you purchase. So again, the high price point, $3,500, I don't think people are going to be shelling it out to their buyers. I think like an agent having a set of these maybe in their office or during a showing would actually be really cool.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, like at the end of the day too, like $3,500, it is expensive, but I mean, between my Mac, and I'm sure you guys are on the same thing, like the iMac, right? The Sony A2Z, whatever that I have right here, like this stupid microphone, like this alone was like $4,000, right? Like, so at the end of the day, if it's something that could benefit our business, we're going to spend the money. I mean, I've spent it on Grey Goose before. Not that everybody else.
Yeah, you spend it at a table every single weekend for $4,000. Light it up. But another way you could use it too, which I hope people don't use it for, is buyers' dads or family members tuning into inspections or showings, because now it's like, hey, if you want to participate in the showing, it's this immersive 3D experience that everybody could participate in. So that could be hell for people, but could also be awesome for out-of-town buyers.
I think that price point too, like it's only going to come down in theory over time. But I think for me, like I like looking at, I don't know anyone else, I like looking at listings, I like looking at homes that I would, hey, one day I want this. I will definitely be looking at a lot more real estate if I have goggles that so I think the amount of people that are looking at homes on a regular basis will definitely increase. And there's like the niche market, like you said, development, interior design. But I mean, also think about how many times people are moving across the country or moving state to state, city to city. They have to like book a flight or, drive out there where you can just really do the showing, like legitimately do it without having to get on a plane. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah. You remember how much those FaceTime showings sucked during the pandemic? Like it's extremely awkward. You're flipping the camera back and forth. The listing agent could hear everything that you're saying. So if your buyer's talking shit about the property, the listing agent is right there listening in. And it's just this like awkward back and forth experience. You're like trying to unlock the lockbox. Like this would be sick to have the goggles on. But I feel like they've been trying to go ahead.
I can see it being a sponsored thing in the future too. Like even, I forget who just mentioned it, but talking about being able to imagine different like furniture or even scroll through different options, see paint colors, those kind of things. That could potentially be sponsored by those companies, like by a Living Spaces or a Sherman-Williams or whatever, can kind of make that a part of their whole way of integrating into the real estate industry to like increase their business. So I think there's a lot of room for it. It'll just be interesting to see who adopts it and how it'll find its place.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm thinking you were saying like, but showing your family and stuff. I'm envisioning my my mother, my Sicilian mom trying to throw on these moon goggles. She still has a home button on her iPhone. Like can't even, like I don't even know they still had those, right? Like I can't imagine her throwing these things on her head. But and going back to the FaceTime COVID showings, like, you have a 60-year-old agent that's walking in like, hey, do you know how to get on WhatsApp? Do you know how to FaceTime? Do you know how to do this? And like now I'm sitting there on FaceTime, like with my double chin with their buyer, like, oh, here's hardwood floors. Can you see it? Like, getting all the way down to the ground. So I do think that I think this is actually going to help. But it will be interesting to see who actually adapts it. And I think this is a year out. So
I feel like at conferences, they've been trying to do this forever. I feel like at every Inman conference or TF conference that I go to, there's someone there with some virtual reality headset that they're trying to stick on you. And they're like, this is the future. And now this, as an Apple product, will wipe all those off the face of the earth. I don't think anyone ever used those, though.
Yeah. I mean, Eric, you mentioned last night, you're like, why can't you just use a piece of paper or like a pamphlet? Like, it's a lot different when, like a pamphlet here with like a new construction versus like actually, seeing it for yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's like the virtual staging now, like a lot of it, like you said, is it's like The Sims, right? There's so much virtual staging that's absolutely horrible. So this being able to actually physically see the 3D version of it would be pretty cool. So I think we're all on the same page here. This could be good for the industry, but $3,500, big price point.
Big price point. But I'm pretty sure that's what every EXP agent uses for their like back office
virtual
anyway.
world, EXP world.
Oh yeah, baby. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, speaking of EXP world, let us know in the comments if you could see a benefit in this, if $3,500 is something you would spend, and let us know and comment here. Great job, everybody. Actually, that was a fantastic topic. All right, moving on. Topic number 2, 4 types of videos proven to generate leads for real estate agents. This is also from BAM staff. You guys are absolutely crushing it on the blog content here. So, to quote the article, creating content is a lot of work. It is fair to question how much time and effort should be poured into creating videos for social media, especially when you need to make your calls, show homes, write up contracts, and everything else that's thrown your way throughout the day. But instead of questioning the amount of time it takes to create content, let's focus on the more important question. And this was posed by Sam Packett in the BAMX Facebook community. For those of you putting out consistent video content on social media, she asked, what's the one video that has brought you the most amount of business and leads compared to all others? Not talking numbers of plays or metrics, but actual business leads. Some examples in this article are from Jason Cassidy, Classic, Tom Story, and a few others. They included long-form educational videos, targeted I have a buyer videos, educational videos, and local market updates, and a few others. Tessa, I will start with you. Is there any thoughts on the article, and is there any specific video that you can think of that has generated the most amount of leads for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this article. Actually, when I was reading through it, I've always been a big proponent of video. I think everybody understands like the importance of it at this point. But like with anything, without much consistency or true kind of strategy behind it, it can fall short. And then, you throw in the towel because you don't like how you look and the content sucked and no one watched it. So there definitely is like kind of an approach that has to happen. And for me, what I always found, which was so interesting for both my videos and my lead magnets that I would use, the ones that were kind of the least related to real estate tended to bring in the most people that I was actually able to convert into real clients. So I've always been a big fan of a series. So if you create something that's like ongoing, consistent, predictable, people know to expect it. and I would highlight local restaurants and like feature local businesses and stuff within a certain geographic area. And people got so excited about it. I had a couple of those videos go viral on Facebook. I think the one that went the most viral was about this local pizza shop. And so for me, it's fun. I get to go in, talk to like a restaurant owner, eat some pizza, make a video, but then people feel really inclined to share that. And you are also like establishing yourself sort of as this go-to local expert. I would roll those relationships into, you know, someone who's now hosting our client appreciation events, and we're sponsoring stuff at their restaurant and all kinds of things. So for me, it was always the ones that were not necessarily directly related to real estate or a market update or anything. And it was so much more focused on like really kind of setting my roots in the community and talking about like local businesses.
Oh yeah. Ramon, is there any video that maybe sticks out to you that's generated you the most business?
I don't have like even close to a strategy. I just get lucky every once in a while. But a couple of the ones that have worked well for me is where it's almost like a behind the scenes, but it's the behind the scenes, like taking the notion that clients or the people you want to work with, they don't buy programs, they buy results. And so you're almost showing them the back end of what you do. Like, for example, you would have a listing go up and you get, you know, I mean, even to this day, depending on price point and market, like you're getting 40 showings. Like your showing time app is just exploding, right? So it's like sitting there and like, you know, you've seen those videos where someone comes by and it's like, oh, didn't see you there. But since you're here, let me show you my, like, it's like, yeah, just show them like, look, this is what happens when we put your home on the market. This is the traction we get. So then my job is to go through all of these, filter them, talk to the agents, you know, pre-qualify the buyers, whatever you want to say, but just show them the activity that you're getting on these properties and almost not selling them like, hey, this is what you get with me, but more of this is what I do. And I think those have done really well for us. And again, same thing. They're not super like, you know, they're not going viral, but you're getting people like, wow, is the market really that hot right now? And that's kind of there's your entryway. So yeah, those have been really successful, just like that. Showing them what you do behind the scenes, but in a non-salesy way, if that makes sense.
Total sense. I mean, that's I do the exact same thing. Eric.
Yeah, showing the results. Obviously, I'm not selling real estate, but when I'm trying to sell BAMX or I'm trying to sell the email list, not sell, but just get people to join or get people to join the content platform or get people to watch a video, instead of just saying, join the email list, I'm saying there's a reason why we're getting a 50% open rate. Like I give them FOMO, or I'll actually like post a screenshot of the email and do a video screenshot where I'm scrolling through the email, showing them exactly what is sent. And the same thing goes with ebooks. Like Tess and I launched an ebook in 2019 on Instagram hacks. And the best thing I did was screenshot 2 or 3 of the hacks instead of just saying, download this, you're going to get 20 Instagram hacks. And that actually shows people and gives people the FOMO to actually buy in. So showing the showing results, showing how many offers you got, showing like the emails you actually sent, showing the process, I think is definitely the move for conversions.
Wait, when you say you guys wrote a book on hacks, was it like people hacks? Like these are hacks within the industry, or like hacks like to get better?
Yeah, exactly. It was the 20 worst real estate agents. The 20
you gotta
biggest
make like a burn book, a real estate industry burn book, and it's just all
exactly.
I got mine right here. You know who's the one on it?
Yeah, Dan just did a video kind of on that, your list video.
But Ramon, and actually you guys all just made incredible points. I relate to Ramon what you're saying the most, because I don't have a strategy. I just let it fly, kind of let it sling. And what I've realized is like everything that I do post, whether it be my story, whether it be in my feed, all of the above, everything that I'm doing is with intent, right? So whether I'm like exaggerating something or to get like likes and people to comment, like one little thing is I always talk about eczema. I know how to spell eczema, right? I've had it for 30 years, but I always spell it eczema. It's a Vine thing, right, from back in the day. And the amount of people that DM me every single time and go, it's eczema, idiot. Oh, really? Thanks. Because now you're engaging with me and, you know, now watch my video, right? So everything that I post is always like with an intent, always with purpose, right? And behind the scenes, I look to Barstool and like whatever, maybe a couple of years ago, I think the reason they became so successful is because they were like almost like a reality show where like they showed you behind the scenes every day of what they're doing in the office, good or bad, right? And for a long time, I always thought like maybe I shouldn't be showcasing all of this, right? Like maybe I should like tone it down a little bit. But I realized that by being myself, when I'm going on these listing appointments, everything, like my sellers are the first ones to curse before me. I tell everybody, hey, go interview 10 other agents. They're like, F off. We're signing with you right now. But it's because I swear to God, like, and they're the ones that they curse to me. I'm like, whoa, we're letting it fly. We're letting it fly. So, but it's because I'm the same person on my Instagram that I am, in the videos, and it shows.
Some other points in the article too. Byron did a video that only reached 12 viewers that was talking, like trying to reach developers. This was like his first YouTube video back in, 2013 or 14. And he got a development deal out of it and, 5 or 6 sales from that actual video, and only 12 people saw it. So even if that specific video is not getting engagement, people are still consuming it and you can still convert business from them. So I think that's an important point. And then Haley, can we play the Jason Cassidy video? Dan, I know we play a Jason Cassidy video every single walkthrough, but this video is really good. And he said this has got him like a lot of listings, I think.
If you're seeing this video, it's on purpose. I have a buyer looking for a single family home in Metro San Diego, specifically Mission Hills, North Park, University Heights, Kensington area. Their names are Sam and Ellie, and they're looking to move now. They're pre-approved up to $2 million and just haven't found exactly what they're looking for yet. So if that's you, let me know, and we'll see if we can make something happen for both parties.
I don't think you've seen that one. That's a great video, right? Just simple to the point. He actually says the names of the buyers, whether it's true or not. I don't know if Sam and Ellie actually exist, but
I believed him the moment he said the names. I said, "Oh, it's
I believe him too." But it humanizes the entire thing, and I'm pretty sure he ran ads to his specific area around that to reach sellers. So that's a great video. That probably took him 15 seconds to film. Just talk about a buyer you have, put it out there. I think that's genius.
Yeah. Shout out to Cassidy. We do play a video from him every week, but it's because he's crushing it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I think just to reiterate the more that you can paint the picture of what happens afterwards. I talk about it. I refer to it as step 2 in a lot of social media content. So often we put a lot of effort towards like the post and maybe even the call to action, but never clarify what actually happens when they do that. That was always my biggest critique of an agent's Instagram bio even, is they have a link there, but I have no idea what's going to happen. Am I going to get rickrolled when I click on that link? Like, I don't know what's about to happen. I want to know, if I click this link, it's going to take me to view houses under $500,000, or it's going to take me to download, the burn book or whatever it is. I want to know kind of where it's directing the next step. And that can make a big difference with the action that people do or don't take, because they like that kind of predictability.
We got to create this burn book. We need to create the biggest real estate burn book of all time that actually names people and describes everything horrible that they have done in the industry.
It's right here.
You got it right there. That's what that is.
This is just Long Island, and kind of social media related. But I got it right. Look,
there's no way that's actually a book of agents' names and things they've done wrong.
Yeah. You know what happens to people that don't believe me when I tell them that this is a burn book? You just made the burn book.
Perfect.
You just made the burn
that
book.
would be our most downloaded ebook in the history of the world if we actually created that.
And you can allow everyone to submit their anonymous submissions of an agent they dealt with or a story, and just make the most epic book of the worst experiences in real estate.
But you guys tried the anonymous burn book right now. I love this idea. Just constant anonymous submissions, and it could populate on the website. This is genius. I love it.
We need to hire a VA because there's going to be so many submissions that we're not going to. Would be sitting here all day like this.
People use actual names, it could screw over so many people in the industry. I'm here for it. I think it's perfect.
We could tie it into the 20 Instagram, the 20 hacks that you guys did in 2019 too. It actually perfect segue. Part 2. Jordan Cohen could co-write it.
Transparency. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Make sure to like and subscribe here. What a great episode, by the way. What a comeback. Love it. All right. Topic number 3. I'm going to kick it to Mr. Handsome over here. How to create just closed videos that seal the deal with potential sellers. I actually saw the video that we're about to play here before we even knew we were doing this topic. I commented on it. I laughed. I've been doing something very similar, not twerking, but Haley, can we tee this up? And then Eric, I will let you take the floor.
Yeah, before we play the video, I just want to say this is Chris Benjamin, who's been absolutely crushing it. And he does an incredible just close video after each property. And it's not a giant closing key. He's not doing a boomerang with a mimosa with his clients. He's really showing what happened in the actual property. So tee this up. And he does an actual case study in the captions. It's awesome.
That's a
Haley,
banger.
keep that up for a second,
Say
actually,
that
but
again. Yeah, swing it back.
turn the volume off and then keep that up because I want to read the caption that he does in the actual case studies. He gives a little checklist of everything he did to the property. Basic maintenance was done, including paint and carpet. It was priced correctly to create an auction effect. 40,000 views plus videos on all platforms, not including YouTube, pre-roll, IG, and Facebook ads. Custom single property website and landing page, as well as the neighborhood being personally invited to the 2-day open house. Email blast to more than 6,000 agents. As a result, and all the hard work, there were 5 offers in less than a week. Says what it was listed for, said what it was sold for, and then asked for questions in the comments below. So obviously the video itself is just him twerking to this music in a loop, but the value is truly in the caption. He does a case study of every listing. So I think it's genius. Tessa and Ramon, what do you think of this video?
My favorite part is the artful negotiation he had written in there as well, because there's nothing like an artful negotiation. But I love it. I think it's stuff that it interrupts, like it's kind of a pattern interrupt. We know how much content is out there, how hard it is to capture attention these days. By doing something that's probably a little out of the box, it gets people to laugh. It gets them to feel multiple emotions. Because first, they're kind of like, oh my gosh, what is this? Then they probably laugh about it. They probably send it to a couple friends. Maybe they're talking crap about it, or maybe they're just saying this is great. Either way, it's getting the attention that he wants, which is having a positive effect. And then to bring it in with some more serious stuff in the caption, I think it was artfully delivered.
Yes.
Artfully.
Yeah, I mean, the twerking can put you in a trance right away, and you can just like go in on that. So I think obviously having something that catches your attention, like that's very, like you said, breaks just the basic things you're seeing scrolling through constantly. But I think the other thing is that I like the context. I haven't seen context like that written out, and that was really simple, straight to the point. Because I think what happens is you post these just closed videos like, just sold with 5 multiple offers. Like, okay, like cool, awesome. What does that mean? And then everyone's posting that. So I think like that level of context was really good. But yeah, I mean, I think just doing something that breaks up the monotony, the twerking.
Yeah, and he does this for like each video. He's always popping under bathrooms. He's jumping out of planes. He's like, there's always some hook, and he just like keeps you invested throughout the entire video. And Dan, you're doing great videos with your team that aren't talking about just solds. What are those?
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully Haley can tee one up. But a long story short, we were just posting like our team page. And actually, you guys inspired me at the BAM Mastermind. My team page was just literally just listed and just sold. Right, we needed more kind of face. So I thought that the key is so cringe. I think people, ringing the bell when they get a closing is so cringe. But I was so cringe that I was watching these videos of my team because we switched offices to a same company's different office. But I'm laughing my ass off because my team looks like they're being held hostage, like ringing the bell, So I'm like, we could actually make this really funny. Like instead of it look like you're being held at gunpoint, like do a little dance, right? Like ringing the bell means you're making money. So now we're putting a face on the team page. People are like catching on to it because it's funny, right? Like you're watching these people dance. And I went to my country club, for example, right? There are 2 people on this planet that I do not want following me. Number 1 is my mom. Right? I don't want her seeing anything that I'm doing. Number 2 is the head pro at my country club. I go up to the range and there's 12, gentlemen there. 11 of them stop hitting balls, turn around and go, hey man, I've seen you dancing on Facebook. You must be making a lot of money. So I'm like, wow, this is really working, right? Like we're just ringing the bell, baby.
All 10 of them in unison turned around to compliment Dan on his video.
Everybody was in there. They were like
they stopped mid downswing. Exactly. They checked up. They checked up like Tiger Woods in Pebble Beach in 2000.
I can't even go to Stop and Shop, right? I'm in Lululemon the other day. I hear, hey buddy, ring the bell. Like, yeah, ring it. Right. Hey, look, we tee it up here, Haley. Look, just ring the bell, baby. You ring the bell, it means money, right? You never. Look at this rhythm here.
To ring that cowbell again in East Northport, and Dan Oneil, the man, just got 2 listings. One in Cineration, the other one is Southern Go Dan.
Just ringing it, right? Like that shows my personality. I'm dancing. We're 2 listings, not a big deal. It was really 7, right? So it's just getting creative. Like I'm twerking, doing whatever, but the flyers don't really have any personality behind it. And like you said, Tessa, Chris does the case studies. Like it's just articulated case, it's articulated, and I think people catch on to that more so than just a blank flyer. So
Another thing that Chris did, which I think is important, is capturing footage throughout the deal for those videos. So doing a lot of before and afters, like while he's twerking, showing, before staging, after staging is important. So instead of just doing like a closing pick at the end, he's capturing everything that's going on. So shout out Chris Benjamin.
Jinx, you owe me a Coca-Cola. All right. Eric, we have an ad read, I believe. Speaking of getting better on social
media. Yeah, we don't really
media.
call these ad reads anymore, Dan, because it's an in-house product, BAMX, which everybody should become a member of immediately. There are courses every single month, live streams. I think Byron's actually doing a live stream in there right now. You could get my Instagram course, the green screen course, objection handling. This is going to be the #1 source for real estate education on the planet. Use code WALKTHROUGH. That's 10% off. That's WALKTHRU. Get in there right now. There's already 260 members. We've been live for basically a month. So there's a reason people are joining it. And it's also $10 a month. So a Frappuccino a month. If you're not joining this, you're out of your mind. Link in the description. Join BAMX.
Bam. That is not an ad read. That is a just beautifully articulated invite, is what I would say.
Articulated.
Articulated.
Artfully articulated. Articulated is the word of the day here. Moving on to the next topic, which I wanted to talk about, which I feel like we talk about all the time because we're constantly in one, and that is a content rut. Isn't that right, Dan?
Oh, when I use the word in one, it usually means that I'm actually, the expression on one.
Right, exactly.
So right now, I am in one right now.
You're in one.
Yeah,
well, I'm in a content rut, and I came across 4 things that you could do to get out of a content rut, and then I want to get Tessa and Ramon's opinion on this. Number 1, of course, is you take an actual break from your content. If you're just constantly scrolling and thinking of captions and trying to come up with video ideas, it starts to become impossible. Number 2 is you actually go work out. Right, Dan? You go to Equinox, you do a couple buys and tries, you get blood flowing to your actual brain, take a break from the content. Number 3 is you consume content outside of real estate and in real estate. So make sure you're actually scrolling. That's how I get 90% of my caption ideas and my hook ideas and my meme ideas, from actually scrolling content. And number 4 is actually doing the real estate activities. I came up with so much more content when I was actually doing real estate. Now I have to just come up with it out of thin air or follow other people that are coming up with content. So wanted to kick it to you guys and see what you guys do if you are in a content rut or you're not feeling super creative.
Yeah, I think it happens a lot more than people would want to admit. For me, it always helps. I definitely like what you said about consuming some content outside of your industry. I think that can open up your eyes to a whole different world of stuff, because sometimes when you're just consuming a bunch of content within your own industry, you're seeing a lot of the same stuff, and you kind of start to get the opposite of inspired, and you kind of get put in a box a little bit. So, thinking outside of that can definitely help. Disconnecting and giving yourself the grace, I guess, to take a little break. You're not going to ruin your life if you take a day off from posting or something. And sometimes we put those expectations on ourselves. And then for me, I always it may sound a little silly, but going outside and just getting away from my atmosphere that I'm in. So for the day, maybe it's going for a walk and coming back, or it's going and working in a different environment. That change of scenery can help a lot with coming up with something new and just kind of giving you that little boost of inspiration and some new creativity.
My wife, who's in the other room right now, always tells me to go take walks, because I basically sit in my content cave all day in this dark room. And I lose my mind. And she'll ask, she could tell when she comes home if I haven't gone on a walk or not. And it's so simple. Just go outside for literally 10 minutes, walk around, get some UVs. But
it's called a hot girl walk, and it'll work wonders for your life.
I know. Seriously.
Eric does it every day. Trust me. Every time the guy calls me, all I hear is just the cars on the freeway in Brentwood.
I don't live on a freeway. It's just a busy street.
Yeah. Ramon, Content Run. Have you been in one in a bad way? And have you gotten out of it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, up until a month ago, there really wasn't a solution for me, but now there is. BAMX, use the code WALKTHROUGH. I mean, that's
my God. That's why he's a BAM creator, baby. Let's go. And wait till Ramon and Tessa come out with their finance course, their house flipping course. It is going to blow the head off of your neck.
You will be rich. Yes. Rich and
Exactly.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, in all seriousness, up until a month ago, what I would do, it's more of a confidence rut, to be honest with you. I think that's what, for me at least, it's always you get a little uninspired because you start getting in your head about your accomplishments or where you stand, you start thinking that way. And then you don't really want to be putting yourself on a screen, sending it to hundreds and, thousands of people, whatever. So one of the things I think working out is great. I mean, every time I've never regretted a workout in my life. You work out, you immediately feel better after. I have the most awesome thoughts while working out. But outside of that, I actually like not consuming content if I'm in I don't like I kind of stay off of the socials a little bit. And I think for me, it's paying more attention to people, like being around people and being super intentional about speaking to them and almost observing what they're doing in my office, when I'm at working, like when I'm at the gym, just being more mindful of people and when watching what they're doing. I don't know, for some reason, it just makes me it just gives me ideas. I don't know. Cause at the end of the day, those are the people that you want to watch your shit, right? You want just the general population. But outside of that, I think the only other thing that I've done when I'm in a content rut is go travel somewhere. Like, I know that sounds super like, oh, catch a flight, but like seriously, if I go to New York City today,
flight's not feeling.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you ain't coming to New York City, buddy. The air quality here is actually the worst in the world. So that flight would be canceled.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there today. But hypothetically, like I used to live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I go to New York City, I would come back I'm a new human. I don't belong here anymore. Like I'm functioning, but in all seriousness, like you're thinking at such a different level. So I think it's what Tessa said was like change your scenery. But for me, a travel to a destination for like a conference or something around the industry has always gotten me more fired up after, and I come back and I'm ready to run through a brick wall.
Get Eric.
Yeah, the post-conference content is always incredible. Anytime I'm at a real estate conference, I get like 50, 60 tweet ideas right there, just from whatever the coach or the speaker is saying, plus all the conversations that are happening in between agents. And you're so right, just like interpersonal communication. Whenever I was just talking to a buyer, to a seller, or at an open house, that's where all the like real funny ideas and the details come from. Instead of just saying like a dad in an inspection or something like that. That's just like, there's no details there. It was always just like my funniest posts were always something about something that was actually said that I could twist into content later.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of based off experience, like I feel like for me, I was definitely in a content run, and I did all of the above, everything that you guys just mentioned. I actually stopped going on Instagram because I couldn't. If I watched one more video, my head was actually gonna blow off my head. So I stopped consuming content. I was going on hot girl walks. I was listening to podcasts that kind of inspired me, and I think that really what helped me the most though was because I'm very critical of the videos that I put out. Right, I want to make sure that they're super good. Right. I just got out of my own head. I'm like, you know what? I don't care, right? Like if this video flops, I just posted a 4-minute long listing video. I don't even know how it's doing. If anyone even watches it, they should be thrown in jail. But I don't care, right? Like it's a sick house. It's a good video. It's like me. So being back in the business helped a ton. Stop consuming it helped a ton. Hot girl walks helped a ton. But then also, like you said, we were in Naples a couple months ago, or maybe it was 6 weeks ago. I just went in I just went in a pool. Right? I haven't been in a pool in 2 years. I'm not even kidding. I was just swimming in a pool. You know how many ideas I came up with? Now I have too much content. I'm buzzing now, just from taking a little lap in a pool. That's it.
Ramon, what did you just whisper to Tessa right there? You guys talking crap about us?
Yeah, I said something I probably shouldn't have said. I was like, oops.
Just what is it? What is going on?
I told her. I said, I think I cursed earlier too. So
you're allowed to curse on this show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I just try not to because Eric's mom watches. Shout out to Diane. But yeah, so
be respectful.
Sorry, Diane.
Sorry,
One thing I will say about everyone's answers here is it's also pretty obvious that everyone goes through those kind of highs and lows. And sometimes whether it's Eric at an event and he's all of a sudden got all these tweet ideas, or Dan's floating in his bubble bath and he's got all of these ideas. We all go through these different ups and downs where the ideas are really flowing. I actually keep both a note in my phone and a spreadsheet where when I'm in one of those highs and content is just flowing, I'll actually idea dump all that stuff. Sometimes I'll fully write out posts, captions, videos, stuff like that, so that when I inevitably then go back down into somewhat of a content rut, I still can pull from that and continue to have a presence, if I need to, so that I have that to kind of tap back into. It definitely helps. That's
a great idea. Take advantage of that current buzz. It's so crazy, the waves, not even your personal waves of just highs and lows and confidence, but algorithm waves. Like Instagram out of nowhere will just like, it's like, oh, stories views are down 80% or shares are going up. Like it happens all over the place. And sometimes even your content's really good, but just the current like wave of the algorithm, maybe they're doing an update in the Instagram app or Facebook or Twitter, whatever the case may be. And that's suppressing your actual content. So yeah, just keep at it. That's all I got.
Keep at it.
Keep at
Go
it.
for a bubble bath. Go to New York
go
City.
for the bubble bath. Exactly. Go to a Tom Ferry conference.
Yeah.
Join BAMX. Listen to the House of Agents podcast, which I want to talk about next. So why don't you talk about the House of Agents podcast that we just released? First episode yesterday, Wednesday. Make sure you subscribe to the House of Agents YouTube channel and listen to these two geniuses, Tessa and Ramon, every single week.
I'm going to do this right now, actually.
You're finding us on YouTube.
Yeah,
we're super excited about the podcast. One of the big things, I mean, there's so much content out there. There's obviously no shortage of great content, especially all of the BAM creators and on, the BAM platform, BAMX, all of those great creators there. But really, there is no shortage of amazing content that people can consume. I think what our big goal is with the House of Agents show is to deliver kind of that combination of our experiences, stuff that's exciting, that's fun, that's inspiring to a certain extent, but also always has that tactical and tangible stuff. So between our two experiences in real estate, there's been quite a few years of experience, obviously lots of houses sold, lots of houses flipped, all kinds of different things. And there's a lot that we can help people hopefully shortcut in hearing some of that stuff, what has worked, what hasn't worked. There's a lot of transparency behind just sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I remember when I was early on in the industry, I enjoyed that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily just want to see a tutorial of how to do it. I also want to know, what did you do that sucked and that you wish you didn't do, so I can avoid some of those things or figure out how to learn from others' mistakes and others' wins. That's a big focus for us.
Oh yeah. Hearing other people's struggles is so rewarding. And it makes you feel so much better about the place you're at in your career. That's the reason I started The Broke Agent. It's because it was all success and everybody was motivational and everybody was just talking about how many deals they were doing. And I was like, is there anyone else out there? Like Ramon just said, he showed one house in 5 months and now he's selling 2 houses a day. There's 90% of the agents are not doing incredible. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's super relatable. Everybody should go check it out. House of Agents, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, link down to subscribe. And make sure you follow Tessa and Ramon. That's a wrap on The Walk. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week.
That's an episode right there, baby.